This is the PlayStation 5 HD camera, and this had the potential to completely change the entire streaming industry in the sense that it was going to allow people who had a PlayStation 5 to get into streaming super easily on Twitch or YouTube without having to spend literally thousands of dollars on a fancy extra PC streaming game setup to get their face into the stream with comments and interactions and just do streaming without it being super complicated. Here's the theory behind it. You have a PlayStation 5, which I do over here. You take the HD camera, you plug it in via USB, and you can even grab a USB microphone like this one, plug it into the PlayStation 5, and suddenly you have fantastic sounding audio mixed with a camera that overlays on top of your screen while you're streaming and yourself streaming. And it brings up comments, shows you people how many viewers are live, gives you entire streaming experience, but you don't have to buy a fancy camera like this. You don't have to buy a separate PC to run OBS or another software platform to get your camera and your streaming system and get a USB capture card thing to bring your PlayStation 5 gameplay in like an Elgato or something. It would just make it so easy and so simple. But sadly, they've left out like the most basic video features that you need in order for this to actually look good and for you not to look like a red tomato, potato, depending what your setup is like in a studio. Okay, so this is how I had it set up for the filming with the camera right here, but you can see like my face is just completely blown out, meaning like way too bright. And if I try and turn the brightness down, it's turning the whole image. It's just digitally. You see, my face is still way too bright. And the contrast doesn't, like, I can kind of flatten it out there, but you see how grainy the camera is getting? And then you could try and turn in, but it's the same thing. They just won't let me do much. If I make this all white, then, which kind of brightens up the background, but now look at my face. It's red and like washed out. And I guess I could try, no, the contrast, like bright, just doesn't. And look how pink look how terrible my face looks if I go green. Blue is going to probably give me the most natural, but again, I can try turn the light down a little bit. That is the light on the lowest setting, and it's kind of close, but you can see the camera's having to work harder because of the dark background. My face is still too bright, and it's all grainy all over the edges here, and the brightness doesn't... Again, you still see right around here? I can't actually force the camera. So let's go back. Let's do these white, everything white, and let's turn down, let's dim them. And then it'll pump up my face a little bit, but then now I'm all red. It just, what you need to be able to do, this brightness, again, all it's doing is changing the digital image. It's not actually turning down the brightness of the camera. What I want to be able to do is, like, do you see how when I make these brighter, the camera's actually turning the gain on it down? Where do you see now my face? There's no blown out parts of my face because it's automatically adjusting for those. I want to be able to control that myself as well as make my face a little less blue, because here's what we would do if we did this. Now I can turn that light up. Where do we, and we're starting to get closer to brightness, but again, my face is so red right now that I look terrible. I look like a tomato. My face isn't normally this red, believe me. A little bit more. Now we're back to blown out. And it's so unfortunate because if this picture actually looked good of what my face could look like here, then it would work really, really fantastically. PlayStation have actually built in a really great interface for you to be able to see the notifications that pop up in the corner, to easily have your face there, to see how many people are watching you live when people hop in and out of your stream. And again, you don't need any extra fancy hardware. That would be just so cool and so great if they were able to do this. Now, is it possible to play around with this and try and get this to look a little bit better? Well, I would say if you are in a room that is naturally lit with white walls, there's a good chance it's going to read a little bit better because it's going to be able to figure out that white balance a little bit more easily. I tried playing around with like tons of different setups. My walls behind me are dark, and so it's reading the dark walls and trying to compensate by brightening up the camera to compensate for that, but I don't want it to, and I can't override it. And so I've tried like splashing a bunch of extra lights on my walls to try and get it to tone down my face a little. But when I do that, my walls are gray, but they actually have a little bit of blue. So then it makes my face really red when I light those up really bright. And I've tried changing the ambient color of the LED bulbs that I have in these lamps, but the color also changes. So it's constantly messing up how bright I want my face and how blue or red I want my face to look. I just want my skin tones to look, well, like how they look in this video. You can see here that with a normal camera, I'm not tweaking it a whole bunch. It should just look like this. I should be able to set it similar to this. I understand why they did this, because they just wanted this to be as easy and simple as it possibly could be for the average person to just set up and go. But in the process of doing that, they've removed the ability for the user to actually say what they want. And I feel like we're just rolling the dice. So if you happen to be in a room where your walls are the right color and your lighting is very even between the overall background and your face, you'll be fine. But if you're not in that situation, which I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be, they haven't yet put in the software, and I hope that they do, but they haven't today put the software, the configurations you need to just automatically like set the actual brightness you want the camera at. Again, not this useless brightness slider that doesn't actually change how bright the camera, the sensor on the camera is. It's just kind of like artificially changing the image, the contrast. Like the features are useless because they don't let you set the brightness of the camera, and they don't let you set the color of your skin tone. And if they would do that, this would be the absolute greatest feature, the greatest accessory for anybody who just wants to get into streaming. Now, it's not going to replace today the full-blown OBS setups where you have all the cool, crazy transitions and get to do all the picture-in-picture and get to bring your chat in, although there are some hacks for that. I've seen some videos for how to bring chat into your Twitch overlays and being able to do that. But if you just simply go, I want to start streaming, I want to work on becoming comfortable on my stream, I maybe want some people to start watching, I want to start building a following and just get comfortable and get into this, but I don't want to invest thousands of dollars because I don't know if I really want to do this forever or this is where I want to start. Man, what a great way to do it. I've seen some other videos from people on YouTube where they test it out and it works great for them. I think it's a mixture of their backgrounds and their skin tones. It worked well. And so that's good. But this is buyer beware that if you want to create a set or your room, like even if your walls were like beige or, any kind of color, like it's going to get messy really quickly. And so I would say you're welcome to get one, try it out. I'm probably going to return mine because I just can't seem to find a way. I did also buy a green screen off Amazon, set that up behind, tried to light it up in a whole bunch of different ways. But as you can see here, like unless you are in a perfect studio green screen backdrop lit, like I'm in a video studio and I have lots of lights and I just can't get this to actually cut my face out properly. And it's messy around the edges of my head. And like it just isn't as easy as it needs to be for the green screen. So, and you see how red my face is. So I feel like I am out of options until Sony, if you're watching this somehow, somebody send this to the right person. Give us a proper control over the white or the white balance of the camera. Give us brightness control. And suddenly we have a really usable, functional, incredible, game-changing product. But until then, you're rolling the dice. That's all I got to say. So I'm Justin Rivas. Thanks for watching.